Beautiful shot of Lucy the Elephant here in Margate, New Jersey, and we're back for the Margate Memorials 2024 version. My name is Captain Francis Anthony Messino from the Bringington City Beach Patrol, and I'm honored to be with the voice of South Jersey Lifeguard Racing.
I'm Senior Lieutenant Megan Holland from Ventnor, and we are thrilled to be back here on this beautiful night in Margate. Good to see everybody again. Good to see you, Fran.
It is good to see you, Megan. It is a beautiful night, and hopefully the storms in the forecast will hold off. You know, I like a midnight, maybe 1 o'clock in the morning thunderstorm. Not those, not the ones when we're all outside.
No,
really
not when there's something going on. Absolutely. But we have, so we're back again. Last week we had the Dutch Hoffmans. This week we are back with the Margate Memorials, which is notoriously the warm-up to the South Jersey Championships. So tonight we will have just the three main races: the doubles, 1.5 mile doubles row, the half-mile swim, and the 1,000-foot singles row tonight. So it looks like a good
right, and
good
we have
crew.
A lot of guys heading toward their peak week.
Mm-hmm.
They've trained for these two races especially. Traditional race event. What's happened in the last time, maybe 15, 20 years, we see other races that have paddleboard, surf dash. We see women-only races, which is great because almost 50%, maybe over 50% of the lifeguards in New Jersey are female. And these two races, everyone sees one another. I mean, you know who you're going against. We have a few changes in the lineups, but outside of that, you'll hear the same familiar names. And
yes,
hopefully looking forward to a great night of racing.
Yeah, and as you can see in that shot right there, we do have a little bit of swell, a little bit more than what we had last week. So the waves can always be a factor, both going out and coming in. But yeah, beautiful widespread shot. We see some of the guards warming up. Looks like Avalon right there, and there's, speaking of waves, you'll see how the stern man just hopping back, and he's steering or tilling, riding that wave, attempting to ride it as straight as he can, because as we know, quickest way back to shore is a straight line.
And it's always nice to get that last push toward the end.
Absolutely. Any little help you can have. So tonight we do have all 15 South Jersey patrols represented. We can go over some lanes right now for those of you watching at home. So as you know, the lanes will start on the north side, and they go south. So they'll start on the Atlantic City side and head towards the Cape May side. So tonight, lane 1, which is a black flag, is Atlantic City. Lane 2, which is yellow, is Upper Township. Lane 3, pink, Ocean City. Lane 4, red, Cape May. Lane 5, mint green, Ventnor. Lane 6, black, Wildwood. Lane 7, purple, Stone Harbor. Lane 8, yellow, Avalon. Lane 9, maroon, Margate. Lane 10, orange, Wildwood Crest. Lane 11, royal blue, Cape May Point. Lane 12, light blue, Brigantine. Lane 13, white, North Wildwood. Lane 14, Kelly Green, Longport. And lane 15, navy blue, Sea Isle.
All right. And each doubles crew and singles rower will be rowing in the same lane. The lanes do not shift. So the lane and it's a random draw.
Mm-hmm.
The captains get together about an hour before the race, right around 5 o'clock, have a captain's meeting, and they draw for lanes. So it's random. Sometimes you're rowing against the crew that maybe was next to you last week,
mm-hmm.
and maybe finished a place above or behind you, and you know what to expect. Other times you might be rowing against guys that you haven't seen in a couple years.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's always interesting. And like you said, there's really no way to prepare for what lane you get. It's a random draw.
I always wanted the fast lane.
Yeah.
If there's such a thing.
Yeah. And there's our boys from Atlantic City, Vince Grenice and Nick Gradara. They were 5th place last week in the Hoffmans. Last week, the Dutch Hoffmans was the first time that all 15 of these crews saw each other. So it should be interesting to see if those positions hold true.
Right.
Who shows up, who might cake on some water. Anything can happen, as we've said, in that unforgiving ocean.
Right. And we, like Megan said earlier, we have a little bit more surf than last week, and these are not the straightest lines. Again, the Atlantic Ocean is not a wave pool. They come in according to the slope of the land, and always interesting.
Yes.
There goes the crew from Cape May coming in after their warm-up.
Yep, that's Mike Fitzpatrick and Jack Selecki. You can see them sterning it in a bit. Yep. So it should be. The waves should certainly make things a little bit more fun to watch.
Right.
And a little more interesting.
And this really is a magnificent event as we remember all of our veterans, all of our servicemen and women who have given all and have dedicated their time and some people their lives to service of the United States of America. These are the World War II Margate memorials. And
Yes.
let's remember some of the guys that we've lost in lifeguarding since last year. I know you guys lost your former chief right after the race season last year.
Lou Paludi, one of our first chiefs of Ventnor Beach Patrol, who was a phenomenal human being that we lost him last August, very end of summer, right before Labor Day.
Such a great guy.
He was
Everyone
great.
up and down the Jersey coast knew of Coach Paludi,
Yes.
Chief Paludi, a man of many titles.
He was a phenomenal Holy Spirit football coach, and we still have phrases that we use that he coined that now 30,
Right.
40, 50 years later still it's part of our vernacular.
And North Wildwood lost their former chief, Tony Cavalier. Chief Cavalier was integral in pretty much integrating the North Wildwood Beach Patrol with the first female guards down in that area, and obviously started a lot of the programs that are still in use today.
Mm-hmm.
And Cape May recently lost their chief. It was actually, I knew personally, a very great guy, Buzzy Moak.
Yeah.
I can remember, and I say this all the time, Brigantine Lifeguard, I don't know if there are some beach towns, I've never been to the beach except for lifeguard races.
Mm-hmm. It's the truth.
But I've been to the Cape May Beach, and it's nice. It's a nice day trip if you have a chance.
Yeah, Cape May's beautiful.
Yeah.
All seasons too.
All seasons, it really is.
Yeah, so we send a lot of our love out to those patrols and anyone else who's lost anyone, especially in these World War II Margate memorials. And there you can see Ocean City.
With some of their boat handlers,
Yeah.
the guys come in, and you'll see when they come in, even if they don't win, you always see people can run up to the boat to help them.
Absolutely.
At the end of the race and right at the beginning, as they try to find a spot on shore that gets them to that flag.
Yes.
In the straightest point.
Absolutely. And there are the boys from Margate, Bobby Bechtel and Chris Spires warming up. They were second place last week in the Dutch Hoffmans.
And looking at the finish, the Dutch Hoffmans was a great event. I think we had 8 races.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at the rowers and swimmers from that event, you're going to see, I wouldn't say favorites, but you're going to see some beach patrols that you would expect to do well tonight.
Yes, absolutely. So,
And in the doubles last week, in 5th place we had Atlantic City. We had 4th place was Longport. 3rd place, Avalon, was Dave Gillian and Gary Nagel. 2nd place, right there, Chris Spires and Bobby Bechtel. And 1st place, Jack and Joe Savell, who are the defending Margate Memorial doubles
they
champions.
are, yes, from last year.
Beautiful. I'll tell you, our drone operators, they always do a phenomenal
Yeah.
job.
It is. It's been a whole completely different way to watch the lifeguard races.
And the rowers and swimmers are studying the film.
Yes.
We were.
I did. Believe me, I went back and rewatched when I was rowing in the women's races for sure.
And you see the different styles.
Mm-hmm.
There isn't one. There are numerous proven styles that will work for you.
They're my boys, Matt Spires and Mike McMenamin. Matt's been rowing a lot, and Mike actually was our swimmer
Right.
for a few years there. So it is nice to see with a lot of these athletes and these lifeguards, they are athletes. They are doing the job. You have to row, swim, paddle, run. And a lot of our guys and girls are multi-sport athletes, and it shows.
I actually saw Mike's parents at the AC Classic.
Yes. Yeah,
Always
they're
great to see
people.
them. Always great. Again, it's always great to see the families. I will say, it's not a negative, but the one thing about being up here, we are actually right off of the beach on Washington Avenue in Margate, is we're not in the mix, but
I know.
in one respect. And in the other respect, we are the mix.
Yeah.
Because
we're bringing it to you at your house, wherever you're watching. We're trying to bring it to you live. But yes, we are very excited to be here. Looks like a great crowd down there. This is one of the more popular, exciting
Right.
races to check out. It brings a really good crowd. Margate Beach Patrol does a wonderful job being organized and on time and really promoting this very, very well.
And a lot of people they'll text us afterward and say, or sometimes even during a commercial break, and say, we're watching from Washington State.
Yeah.
I know lifeguards who have moved out there because they're crew coaches or swim coaches, and they just have a great opportunity to go to a different part of the country. I mean, we have former Jersey lifeguards in Hawaii, Florida.
Yes, absolutely. And it's nice, and we're happy to be able to share a little bit of what everybody loves this Beach Patrol Summer Racing with you.
And this is one of the younger crews from Margate that is actually a judge boat. They will go out and make sure everyone turns the flag in the right direction. And it's an assignment I think we've all had, Megan, at
Yes.
one time or another.
Yes, believe me, we run the Gowdy races, so many a times I was bringing the Gowdy bags back 3-4 times back out to the flags, and we would have our own little competition to see we'd wave ride it in. We'd race each other. It's fun. It's a wonderful job.
And we're not just talking about empty bags. We're talking about waterlogged bags that weigh about, what, 50, 60 pounds?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's a heavy row.
Right, you're talking about putting an extra 200 pounds in
Yes.
that boat, maybe 250.
Yeah. So we're about 4 minutes away from the start of the race, and I just got a message from Bob Garbett, who's watching us right now from Michigan.
That's awesome.
So hi, Bob.
Bob,
Great
how
to
are
see
you, buddy? Hope all is well.
Yes, and the Garbetts, they're a very, very well-known. We're very lucky around here to have some very well-known lifeguard families, and
Right.
the Garbetts are certainly one of them.
In Atlantic County and
Yes.
Cape May County. I know a lot of the guys and girls are getting together on Sunday mornings. A lot of the former rowers.
Yes.
And crew rowers from high schools and colleges.
At Viking Rowing Club,
At
who is
Viking.
one of our wonderful sponsors.
We've had Chief/Coach Bergman out there.
Yes.
We've had Coach Garbett out there.
Yes.
We've had Coach Savell out there. We've had Coach McGuire from Stockton University, whose crew program is really developing well. So give a shout out to all those guys and girls
Absolutely.
who keep going, staying in shape.
Yeah, and I have a few friends that have been out. I haven't had a chance to get out there yet. I'm planning on it, but we have a lot of my friends are doing it, and they're loving it. It's really nice to get back in the boat and get back in the routine of things. Crew is a great sport.
Of course, we have to celebrate one of our former Drexel rowers, who was an Olympic
so
gold
exciting.
medal winner in the I think in the men's 4.
Men's 4, Justin Best. Congratulations, my alma mater.
Congratulations.
And a big shout out to Coach Paul Savell, who coached him. Right, at Drexel?
Right. Yes.
Yeah. So very exciting. We're very proud of all of our American athletes over there. Definitely showing their best and making us proud. But it is nice when we have a little bit of a little hometown hero.
Hometown, right. I've been watching a lot of future Olympic wrestling at my house.
I'll bet. Franny has 2 boys, so there's no lack of wrestling, I'm
That's
sure,
right.
in your house.
Hi, Remy and Stellan. Be good. We actually had some pool time today. It was really nice.
That's
and
great.
last week we went down again. All the shore towns. I mean, they all have an individual flavor. We did Maurice Pier last week down in Wildwood. We had a great time. Hit up Mud Hen for lunch. It was great.
Nice.
And then we saw some close lifeguard racing.
Yes, wonderful. So we're hoping it is always fun to have a close race in these. So we're about 2 minutes from the start. If you are watching at home, I can go through some of the patrols that are racing tonight. From Atlantic City, right there in the shot, we have Nick Gadara and Vince Granese. From Avalon, we will have Gary Nagel and Dave Julian, and I'm just going through these alphabetically, not lane ordered wise. Brigantine, Jack Savell and Joe Savell. Cape May, Mike Fitzpatrick and Jack Selecki. Cape May Point, Garrison Swan and Gabe Servin. Longport, Mike McGrath and Sean Duffy. Margate, Chris Spires and Bobby Bechtel. North Wildwood, Kevin O'Brien and Dante DeFrusco. Ocean City, Matt Oves and AJ Oves. Sea Isle, Pat Scanapico and Danny Rogers. Stone Harbor, Kurt Kurther, Thomas Lake. Upper Township, Jim Nielsen and James Garreau. Ventnor, Matt Spires and Mike McMenamin. Wildwood, Vince Fitzpatrick and Tyler Mangan. Wildwood Crest, James Klecko and James Uresi.
And you would be correct if you assumed that some of these rowers with the same last names that are in different cities are related. Yes, they are.
Absolutely. Yep. Matt Spires and Chris Spires are brothers in Ventnor and Margate. I know also we have some brothers also that end up rowing together, like the Oves brothers, the Safel brothers. A lot of times it's a family affair, the Beach Patrol.
And the first family I saw coming onto the beach today when I arrived was the Holland family.
Yeah.
I saw your sister and your nephew.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
I haven't even seen them yet. Hi, Ronan. He's a trip. He's obsessed with dinosaurs now. Everything's dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs.
I guess as every little boy goes through at some point in his life. Loving dinosaurs? Your boys into those?
Yeah, oh my goodness, yes. We have so many dinosaurs around the house. They know the names of them all.
Yes, so does
I
Ronan.
mean,
He's 3.
It's amazing.
Names of dinosaurs I've never even heard of, and he pronounces 7-syllable words with ease. So Amanda, what?
Now, when I was growing up, it was a space age, so everything was astronauts and everything, spaceships. But yeah, I mean, dinosaurs and Godzilla.
Yeah.
I guess he never went away, but boy, they love Godzilla things.
Yeah. Little boys are fun. So we should be getting very close to the start. Just a reminder again, you'll see that when they start the race, it'll be a floating start. So all of the boats will be out into the water, roughly knee deep or so. You'll see members from the Margate Beach Patrol will go out with poles to create some semblance of a starting line. And you will see each lane has its own lane judge that will hold up a number to alert the starter that their crew is ready. And then there's typically a starting flag that will be dropped along with a foghorn, a horn of some sort. And there's one of our drones taking a picture of a drone right now.
And we also have a handheld camera on the beach.
Yes, we do. But yes, a huge shout out to Colin Stewart and
Five Tribes.
Yes, it's a whole new way of watching racing nowadays. So it really enhanced the experience, and we're thrilled to be a part of it.
Even sometimes on a cold February night, plug up YouTube and watch the races.
Start doing the math to count down until it's time for summer again. Okay, so yep, you can see all the boats are getting ready at the shoreline. You'll notice that the oars are sticking out. They're attached to a little bit of a rope that's in the at each extension where the rowers will put their feet. And that's the standard South Jersey start, just a much quicker way instead of popping the oars like we typically would do in a rescue. To have them ready to go just allows for a much quicker transition at the start.
And the difference is when the boats are set up on the beach, you can't have the oars sticking out because people would walk into them.
Yes.
And if you did launch the boat, you want to make sure you don't want to hurt anyone else on the rescue.
Absolutely. Yes. But this is probably the most efficient way to get into the boat. And you'll see the bow man will be on the north side and the stern man on the south side. And they will typically, when the race starts, when that whistle blows, the bow man will hop in first. The stern man will move to the back, give a little push, hopefully over a wave. So the goal at the start is just not to get water in the boat. And that sounds like probably the 2-minute whistle or the warning whistle to start moving their boats out. And then we'll go.
And we do have a bit of a breeze that will also be a factor in tonight's rowing races and swim races. I was talking to one of our swimmers the other day, and he said, trying to locate the flag when you're in a boat, you're probably 6 feet high. You're sitting on a seat about 3 feet from, and then another 3 feet. You're 6 feet high. You turn around, you can see it. When you're a swimmer, you're bobbing up and down, and sometimes the wind and the whitecaps makes it difficult to see.
Yes. Absolutely. And it's saying right now, I'm looking, it says 5 miles east-southeast. It feels a little bit more like 5 miles an hour right now. So I don't know how accurate the weather app is being.
And that's another thing with lifeguards. How many weather apps do we have? Seriously, I know
too many.
I have 3 on my phone.
Let me try another one. Yeah. So it looks like you'll see those young, most likely rookies, holding those red and white striped poles. They will be 15 south-southwest. I don't know what I was looking at. Sorry. South-southwest win at 15 sounds much more accurate. But yes, you'll see these young guards. They will go out into the water a little bit, and they are the unofficial starting line. There's our starter. Looks like Ryan Pizzagno, who was a great rower back in his day.
He was.
Margate Lifeguard. And we are ready for the doubles row to take off.
I spent some time with the Pizzagno family over the winter. I DJ'd one of their weddings.
Oh, nice.
Married in Adams.
Awesome.
Great time. Oh,
Megan.
Yes, great time.
And Hunter.
Congratulations, guys. And to everyone celebrating engagements, marriages, birth of children. A lot happens in a year.
Yes. There you can see behind each boat there will be a judge who has a numbered paddle holding up to let the starter know that they're ready.
Looks like the flag's up and they're off.
Here we go. You'll see the bow man getting in quick, stern man giving a good push, and then hopefully getting in over the waves.
And the stern man is timing it with the wave.
Yes.
Because the stern will dip down and make the entry a little easier, and he's also making sure he's not pushing the bow man into a wave.
Absolutely.
As we see that these crews are getting some white water.
Yeah.
They're getting some water over their bows, or at the very least, they're getting pushed back.
Yes. So you can see this is Atlantic City at the bottom of the screen. They are in lane 1, and then all the way at the top of your screen is lane 15. There's Ventnor having a nice start, Matt and Mike. And it is important as the bowman to really kind of navigate your way through. You want to be checking for waves. You want to be glancing over your bow, making sure that you're keeping your course. Ooh.
I know, and there goes a late wave. Sometimes on these sandbars.
Yes.
And these guys are all skilled rowers, but it's not that it's unexpected. But normally, once you're through the surf, you're pretty good.
Yes, but yeah, this tide. You always want to make sure that you're checking. Yeah, these late waves can certainly appear, especially when it's windy. You can get a little bit of a rogue whitecap wave, and if you're not ready for it, it can sneak up on you quick.
I am going to figure that waves will play into this finish, just like it did last year.
Yes, definitely.
There we see the Savell brothers. That's Joe in the stern, Jack in the bow.
Gosh, there's still waves.
Cape May Point doing well. Wild Crest up there. And down at the bottom of your screen, which will be the most northern lane, is Atlantic City.
Yes, and it looks like unofficially we have Brigantine leading right now, followed by Atlantic City, Longport, Sea Isle, and Avalon. And this is a tough row, rowing all the way out. It's about, this one is usually a 15-minute row, 14 to 16 minutes, give or take. The wind and the waves will certainly play a factor, especially on the way out. This is a little bit of what we call a sloppy southerly, which is not my favorite to row in, but
some guys and some of the ladies prefer it.
Yeah.
Others, I was talking to some of the rowers, and they like a flatter ocean. And it also depends, your build.
Yeah,
if you're a light crew, you might want a flatter ocean. But I've known guys who were lean and mean who said, "Oh, make it as rough as possible."
I do prefer rough, but south wind is rough.
Not the wind.
That's tough. Here you can see the singles flag line that they're approaching.
It's almost one guarantee though when you're along the coastline, you're going to have some kind of wind.
It's true.
As they pass through the singles flags. Looks like we've had a change. It looks like Atlantic City is leading, followed by Brigantine, Longport, Sea Isle City, and Avalon.
Yes, and then they'll be heading towards, they'll pass the swim flag next, and then they'll be heading towards the doubles flag. You see they just passed the singles. You can see the doubles in the distance, which is a bit farther than it probably looked right there in that shot.
Right.
And this is one, especially like we said, rowing in the ocean, much as the wind plays a factor, it really, in order to keep course or to keep yourself, basically to make it out to your flag accurately, you have to keep that bow into the wind. So I'm sure anyone who's rowed a boat or driven a boat, that is an important part of it. That's one of the best ways to really kind of keep yourself straight. And sometimes, unfortunately, going into the wind isn't exactly also going into the waves. So, especially on the way in, you have to kind of counteract a lot of that. And you can see that little bit of wind swell out there as well. So it is not a smooth ride for these boys.
And you cannot get away from the other boats.
No.
You're rowing and you think you're doing well, and you look over and first of all, the expression "keep your head in the boat." You will hear the coaches and the people who are training the rowers, and whether it's crew or whether it's lifeguard rowing.
Yes.
Keep your head in that boat. And the bowman, of course, is looking back at their flag where they're going to turn, and they're looking back at shore also for some kind of help. This is one of the races where if you go, you'll see, if you're on the shoreline, you will see the oars up in the air or some kind of course marker, and they move it back and forth, telling you which way to move. And it looks like we've had another lead change with Brigantine in first, Longport in second, followed by Atlantic City, Sea Isle, and Avalon. And again, these are unofficial.
Yes.
As we're almost 5 minutes into the race.
Yes, and you can see, and again, the Brigantine crew is Jack and Joe Savell, Longport, and Jack and Joe are the reigning champions of this right now. From last year, they won the Margate Memorials. Longport is Mike McGrath and Sean Duffy. They were actually the 2021 and 2022 winners of this race.
Okay.
Sea Isle, they have now in third is Pat Scampaneco and Danny Rogers, who are always making a strong showing. Atlantic City, Nick Godara and Vince Grenice. They were fifth last week in the Hoffmans. And Avalon, Gary Nagel, and Dave Julian were our third place winners last week. So not a surprise that these 5 boats are all contenders.
Right, and most of these, the 5 crews we just mentioned already have wins under the belt this season.
They do.
Atlantic City winning the AC Classic.
Yes, absolutely. We've had a few. Gary Nagel and Dave Julian were the Kerrs champions from Avalon. Grenice and Nick Godardo, they won the AC Classics. Yeah. So it's always a bit of a, it's never a guarantee, but you always want to be in the hunt. And it seems like a lot of these boys have been in that hunt all summer long.
As we are more than 6 minutes into the doubles race. It's a nice shot from our handheld along the shore.
Yes. Trying to see who that is. And you can see right there the little white caps in the shot tells you that this is not a smooth and easy row like we had last week.
And this is the way you used to watch the race.
Yeah.
This is all you could see if you were lucky to have binoculars. But now with drones, we can get a pretty accurate telling of who's in first place at the flag. And the flags are always great markers because they are aligned in a pretty straight line.
Yes.
I mean, the guys are out there for hours.
Yeah.
And they check them, and then they go back right before the race to check them too.
Yeah, we already started setting hours for our women's race on Wednesday. It's a bit of a science setting those flags.
We have started for next week for the South Jerseys. It is exciting. I know a local minor celebrity DJ who's dropping a set before and after the event.
Don't miss DJ Franny Lane.
I'm getting pumped for numerous reasons.
And here we can see again, and it's in a lot of these guys, they can see each other. They're trying to hit their flag. They're trying to stay on course.
And they are looking for the turn flag.
Yes.
As we're 7.5 minutes into this row.
Yeah, they're definitely getting much closer, ready to approach it. And this is where the bowman really, really, especially in wind, has to play the role. I remember I used to tell my stern girl, Stacy Price, just row. You're the powerhouse right now, and I'm going to do my best to get us to the flag right on point and right on course. You can see a bit of a wide shot of everybody making their way out there, still not quite at the flags. And this is where the bowman will start to make any type of course correction. If they're a little bit off, a little bit upwind, a little bit downwind, they want to hit their flag, and it looks like it's going to be a
north to south turn.
Yes. So on your screen, they will be turning the way it is right now. They'll be turning to the right into the wind.
And we stated this last week. The reason for that is you have more control of your boat when you go into the wind.
Yes,
of course. When that wind whips the bow around, you could be pushing into somebody else's lane. So there go the doubles flags. They're almost upon them.
Yeah, at the top left-hand corner of the screen, you can start to see some of the flags, and the boats are approaching them. And as we said, this is a little bit of a longer doubles row, and a lot of that could be the wind and the waves, especially on their way out. It should be a little bit quicker on the way in. They'll have a little bit of help from the swell. It is one thing, it's tough on the way out, but as soon as you turn, now all those waves are breaking in the direction to help you.
Right, you go from being
stopping you.
Yeah, hindered to being helped.
Yes. And you can see by the wind blowing these flags that it is a tough one, and little waves even breaking out by the flags.
Right. The worst is rowing in a land breeze.
Yeah.
When you turn and you're going back
and the
brick wind,
wall.
Oh my goodness.
And here we can see some of the leaders starting to approach. Looks like Brigantine starting to turn.
Goes Atlantic City in lane 1.
Lane 1. Yep, Brigantine is right in the middle, and actually up at the top, lane 12. And also turning into the wind helps when you're turning around, you obviously don't want to hit any other boats. And that turning into the wind certainly helps with that as well. And now you'll start to see, when we get a little bit zoomed in on some of the boats, you'll start to see all of these guys picking up every little swell they can.
Yeah, and you'll see them actually with a wake behind the boat.
Yes.
That'll be a telltale sign that they're on a wave or a swell out there.
Yes. And they're going to do their best to really ride that swell, kind of catch their breath as they fall off it, and keep that bow as straight as they can.
And legends have been made in the Margate Memorials. I can remember way back in the 80s watching a singles rower catch a wave at the flag.
Oh, wow.
And just move through the whole field and end up. And I always say this: anybody can catch a wave.
Yes.
But not everybody can steer it straight. There's a nice shot of Atlantic City up on top.
Yeah.
Whoever decided years ago to paint their boat light blue, I thank you.
Yeah.
Because you always know when it's AC.
Yeah, it is. We were saying that last week. It's nice when there's a little bit of color. It's much easy. Makes our job a little easier. And there you can see again, it's a bit of a widespread race right now. Looks like Brigantine, Longport, Atlantic City. Looks like Margate's made a little bit of. Right now, those swells will definitely do it. You can kind of see the swells are definitely coming in at an angle because they're going to follow the wind. And the boats, you want to take advantage of the swells, but then fix your point right afterwards. So it's a bit of a back and forth gamble a little bit when you're rowing with the swell. Again, there's our boys from Atlantic City.
And they're the northernmost lane in lane 1.
Yes. Yes, they're holding right now unofficially on that 3rd spot. And again, Margate Memorials does the standard South Jersey scoring, so the top 5 patrols will score in every event. And the doubles row is always an important one because in the event of a tie, the doubles row is the tiebreaker. Whoever scores the highest in the doubles row will win based on that tiebreaker.
And remember, last year in the South Jerseys, we had a few beach patrols, either 3 or 4 tied with the same amount of points, 6 points after the swim, and it came down to the singles. And it is nice to hold that tiebreaker from the doubles.
Yeah.
And the reason why the doubles race is the tiebreaker is because it's the original South Jersey race.
Yes.
It started out as a boat race, just a doubles pair from each beach patrol, and years later the other 2 events were added.
Yeah, up until 1971, it was just the rowing races, and then in 1972 is when they added in the swim.
And you can see right there, as they move toward the singles flags, we have a nice length. This race is pretty accurate when it comes to the South Jersey rules of where you want to have that pretty much 14 to 16 minute range.
Yes.
And this might be a little longer time-wise because this is not a flat ocean.
Absolutely, yeah. The wind and the waves will always play a role. There's another nice wide shot. You can see we're starting to get that August sun a little bit.
Yes, yes. Not this week, but last week it was cool. Some nights were actually almost thought about turning off the air.
Yeah. Not quite ready for
Not
fall.
quite ready
Not
for
quite
no.
Franny and I are teachers. We're not quite there yet. It's only August 2nd.
I did look at my school email the other day.
Oh, I'm not there yet. Not there yet. And there we see the Savell brothers from Brigantine. And they row. And you can also tell, I mean, it doesn't always translate, but a lot of these strong rowers also row crew or rowed crew at some point in their lives.
Right.
And not necessarily doesn't mean that you're going to be a better rower in the lifeguard boat, but it certainly can help.
The conditioning.
Yes.
You know, and obviously knowing the different kinds of strokes, speeds.
Mm-hmm.
Like right now, you'll see when the wave comes up, like look Atlantic City right here, perfect. You see a swell behind them, they're going to jack up the rate a little bit.
Yes. And you can also start to see Atlantic City looks like they're staying relatively straight if they're lane 1 and Cape May behind them is lane 4. So you do really want to keep your course as straight as possible. I mean, it's not going to happen perfect, but you know, like we say, a straight line is the quickest between 2 points.
Mm-hmm. And there goes Brigantine again. They'll jack up the rate on this swell right here. And you'll see the splashing at the bottom of the boat. You'll see that actually they're breaking water because they're on those swells.
Yes. You can see them starting to approach the singles flag line. It's in the top right-hand corner of your screen. And like we've said, that's really kind of no man's land. Once you hit those singles flags, it's just go time.
Here it is, yep.
See them catching a little bit of a swell. when you're catching those swells, you'll notice that what they really want to do is stay on that swell as long as possible. And the best way to do that is just to throw your weight into the bow. We always used to do like quick strokes, not even coming all the way up, just to keep that weight in the bow, pick up the rate a little bit, and then just breathe as you fall off of it.
And they're looking now. Atlantic City knows that they're through the singles flags too. Here we go.
Yeah, and this is where it can get fun. This is where some waves actions can happen, and you can see who can steer and who can't.
And waves, sometimes they are the great equalizer.
Yes. Yeah, so this is certainly anybody's race still. As Brigantine, that's a nice shot of them coming in to shore, and like we've said before, as you get closer and closer, you can start to hear the roar of the crowd, and that always gets you going, because one, it's nice to be cheered on, and two, you're almost on land.
Yes. And in Margate, we do have always a lot of spectators.
Yes, absolutely. We're actually right in front of our girl Lucy the elephant.
That's right. We can see Atlantic City down here in second place.
Yes.
Brigantine in one of the southern lanes, lane 12, right now in first.
Yes.
Longport has moved into third.
And they're in lane 14, so they're more at the top of your screen.
And you can see how close they are to shore. Finish line is normally around waist-deep water.
Yes.
And that's when you will see the, again, the rookies are 2-year guards out there. And there goes our shore camera.
It's Atlantic City, Ventnor right behind them. You can see that little bit of splashing.
It looks like Brigantine might be on something up top.
Yeah.
Or it could be wishful thinking. Again, I'm a Brigantine lifeguard. No, they are on something. Yep. It's just like last year. Keep it going, guys.
Yes, and you can see the one.
And I would be saying that for any beach patrol, guys.
Absolutely.
Just a little input there. Just that's what you want to do. And Atlantic City with a little bit of help right there. And again, they're helping themselves because they're the ones catching the waves.
Absolutely. And it is hard because in this wind swell, sometimes you feel like you can hop back, and sometimes you just want to keep rowing on it because the waves are going to die out. There's
and there we go,
trying
Brigantine.
to hold on. Looks like they're past the line. Here's Atlantic City picking up a wave.
Nice shot of AC right there. Good job.
Yep.
And again, these guys are in the boats all the time.
Yes, and I can't quite tell the top if Longport came in before that. But it looks like Brigantine and Atlantic City definitely are in.
It looks like right now, unofficially, Brigantine followed by Atlantic City, Longport, Margate, and Sea Isle as they still come across the line. We'll know more definitively in a few minutes. But we're talking about a 17.5-minute race, which is pretty accurate when you throw in the intangibles of tide, surf, and the wind we have tonight. Here goes the great crew, Longport,
yes,
McGrath, and Duffy.
And they've won this race several times, and these boys have every right to be tired after that. We're coming up on 18.5 minutes, so that's a good long row for them.
So here comes the important part of the doubles. Atlantic City in second place. Their swimmer won the South Jerseys last year. He is not swimming tonight. He either had a prior obligation, or we're hoping he isn't injured, but Charles Schreiner is not swimming tonight. But that would put them in a pretty good position with that doubles finish.
Yes. And your Brigantine, James Haney is swimming tonight, right, for Brig? And he got 5th last year in Jersey. So you'll see every little point matters, whether it's 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 5th. We've seen races come down to 1-point differentials, and it certainly makes a difference.
There you go. That might be the wave of the day right now.
Yeah.
Who's ever on that? Wait, at the bottom of your screen.
Yeah, I can't quite see. Might be Ocean City? Or Upper, maybe?
Good job.
I think it's Upper.
Again, excellent job by all of our rowers here in the doubles.
Tough ocean. Strong finish by everybody. Coming up on 20 minutes. So that's a good tough row. And this, as you can see, is the finish line. So we have unofficially Brigantine, Atlantic City, Longport, Margate, Sea Isle is our unofficial results. We'll get that checked out, and we'll let you know if anything else changes. But that is certainly a great showing by everybody so far in our first event of the season, of the night.
Of the night.
Not quite the season. Then we see Mike Booth, the other judge. Okay, so we're going to go to a commercial. We'll be back with the swim. A thanks again to our sponsors for tonight. We have United States Air Force Warfare, Stampone O'Brien, Dilsheimer, Holloway Law, Viking Rowing Club, Oarhouse and Van Dyne Boats, and
We'll be right
Swift.
back.
Yes.
Growing up in Philly, you respect community, family, and hard work. Our childhoods were surrounded by generations of construction workers, law enforcement officers, factory workers, firefighters, you name it. People who put their bodies on the line to earn a living. Where you grow up shapes who you are, and we couldn't be prouder to be from Philly. It's a community that values family, hard work, and above all else, authenticity. It doesn't matter what you do for a living. White collar, blue collar, short sleeves, tattoo sleeves, as long as you're true to yourself and true to others. That's the bedrock of Stampone O'Brien Dilsheimer Law. Because too many law offices are out there giving people lip service, saying they'll fight for you, while never missing a 1 o'clock tea time on a Friday. That's not good enough. Honest, hard-working people deserve honest, hard-working representation. Representation with skin in the game, where results matter. A firm unwilling to take a penny until you get paid. So if you've suffered an injury, know that at Stampone O'Brien Dilsheimer Law, we treat you like family. We're gonna fight for you like family, and we're not going to court to settle, but to win. And we like to win.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others. Join the fight.
The difference between a lawyer in Philly and a true Philly lawyer is that a lawyer makes you a pitch, but a Philly lawyer makes you a promise. A lawyer gives you their office hours, but a Philly lawyer gives you their cell number. A lawyer knows construction site negligence from a textbook, but a Philly lawyer knows from experience. A lawyer will accept payment in cash or credit, but a Philly lawyer won't accept a dime unless you win. You can find lawyers anywhere, just Google them. But true Philly lawyers, the kind who fight for you like family, who know how to stand toe-to-toe with the big corporations, well, you only find them at Stampone O'Brien Dilsheimer Law.
Standing here right now with Jagged Joe Sabell, who just took the win for Brigantine in the doubles row here at the Margate Memorials. Guys, you won the same race last year. How's it feel to go back-to-back?
Great. This is one of our favorite races, and it means a lot to go back-to-back, especially right before South Jerseys. This is like basically the practice demo right before the big one, so it means a lot to go back-to-back.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the big three that we definitely circle on our calendars. We're excited to go out there and put out a solid performance. And we're really excited for next week.
You guys had a very dominant finish today, several boat lengths out from the rest of the pack. So what propelled you guys to that finish today, and what are some things you guys are going to work on to try and repeat as South Jersey champions?
Well, it was mostly a battle all the way out. It was right after we turned that we were kind of able to hump the swells, catch those waves. It was a lot rougher this week than last week, so we were really trying to just get on hammer at the back end, trying to get on the waves, and I think that helped us with our victory today.
Yeah, next week I think the main thing we're going to focus on is finishing really strong. Today we had like a solid race, but I think we're going to try to finish even harder next week. at the end of the piece. There.
Let's get it done. Job's not.
Brigantine and the Savelle brothers, back-to-back winners here at Margate's, looking to go back-to-back at South Jerseys. Back to you, Fran and Meg.
Thank you, Christian. Yeah.
And they were the Savelle brothers, winners of the Margate Memorials for the second year in a row. Event number 2 will be the swim, a half-mile swim, and half-mile to three-quarter mile sometimes. You never know.
Never know.
Never know.
Never know. So the swimmers we have going tonight from Atlantic City, and it looks like, they started already. So there you can see the swimmers making their way out. So as you had mentioned, Charles Schreiner, the current South Jersey champion from Atlantic City, is not swimming tonight. It is Tanner Ennis. From Avalon, we have Alex Zoldan, Brigantine, James Hanley, Cape May, Ty Manuel. Cape May Point does not have an entry tonight. Longport, Mason Boucher. Margate, Zach Vassar. North Wildwood, Matt Kimball. Ocean City, Dylan DeWitt. Sea Isle, Andrew Taylor. Stone Harbor, Jonah Alvarez. Upper Township, Ryan Manning. Ventnor, Brian Falk. Wildwood, Brendan Lewis. And Wildwood Crest, Justin Maley.
And they will be going out to a single flag. They do not have individual flags. And we do have the swim cap color, and hopefully those guys, last year they were having a little bit of fun with us, and they kind of changed caps. Or that might be a legend. But we have Tanner Ennis from Atlantic City in the navy blue and yellow cap. Alex Zoldan from Avalon in navy blue. James Haney from Brigantine in a red cap. Ty Manuel from Cape May in a white Flyers swim cap. Longport, we have Mason Boucher in a white cap. North Wildwood, we have Matthew Kimbrell in a navy blue cap. A pink cap, Dylan DeWitt from Ocean City. Again, Ocean City pink cap. We have from Sea Isle, Andrew Taylor in a green swim cap. Jonah Alvarez from Stone Harbor in a gray cap. Ryan Manning in a silver EHT swim cap. He's from Upper Township. Ventnor, we have Brian Falk in a white and red cap. And Brendan Lewis from Wildwood Crest, gold cap. And from Wildwood in a gold cap. That's Brendan Lewis. Wildwood Crest, Justin Melly in a navy blue cap. Navy blue and orange. Dolphins cap.
Yeah, very nice. So, and we have a couple newcomers in this. So
yes.
Dylan DeWitt has made quite a showing last year. He was not at the Hoffman, so he should be a contender. We have Brian Falk, who's one of our young rookies.
Okay.
Who was 4th at the Longport races, is competing tonight. He was out of town at a swim meet last week. And it does. And again, like we had said with the doubles row, swimming in the ocean is very different than a pool. You can see right here is the boys and girls sometimes, just gentlemen tonight. You have to battle those waves on the way out, and you're rising and falling with them. You're losing sight of the flag. You're trying to get it back. It is not a straight swim in a pool where you can look at a nice, pretty straight line on the bottom.
And that might be Zach Vassar from Margate out in front.
It looks like it, yes. He was the winner last week at the Hoffmans.
And one of the benefits of lifeguard racing for the swimmers and the rowers who are still in high school and college is it keeps your training through the summer. Makes your coaches happy. Keeps you in shape. You never want to get too far out of your peak conditioning, especially the high school and college athletes.
Absolutely.
And some of these, I was talking to actually Steel Pier the other night, and I saw my friend Joe Haney with his son James. They were at a scholarship event, and guys, girls, remember, when you do well in high school, you may be getting scholarships to colleges.
Yeah, absolutely.
And every dollar helps, let's be honest.
Yeah, especially nowadays. So you can see that they're coming close. So the swim flag is traditionally past the singles flag line. It's usually a double flag, so that the swimmers do not get confused. And you can see it does look like Zach Vassar is out in front, followed by another swimmer not too far behind, and then a bit of a pack. And course does come into play with this as well. Battling those waves, it's not always easy, and it's a lot of fun swimming in the ocean, but it is a very different animal when you have to really keep on course.
And different than the Dutch Hoppins last week. The Dutch Hoppins was a box swim where the swimmers ran out and then swam. They did a surf dash out, swam, turned a buoy, and headed down beach or up beach. and then they turned another buoy and came back to shore. This is straight in and out, which I would say is the traditional route for these swimmers.
Yes, absolutely, and that is what we will see next week in the South Jerseys.
There's a beautiful shot from our drone. These guys are moving. When you think about it, the rowers, again, they are elevated. They're sitting in a boat and they're above the ocean. They can turn around. The swimmers, when they go to take their breath, they're looking up, and that's how they're keeping their course.
Yeah.
And we see two lines actually going out. We see a northern and a southern line as they head toward the flag.
Yes, and it's tough to see who's on course and who's not. Once we are able to see the double swim flag, we can have a bit of a better vantage point there. But again, this is a tough ocean to swim in when you're battling those waves. Although once they turn that flag, and you'll see in the swim, it typically does not matter which way you turn as long as you turn the flag. There's usually a boat or a jet ski out there checking to make sure everybody turns.
And unofficially, that is our leader right there, Zach Vassar, in his hometown competition here in Margate.
Yes. And it looks like you can see right there, there's a swim flag, and it looks like Zach's pretty on course. And there's the jet ski and a boat out there for both safety and to make sure that they're turning
right
completely.
Again, safety first, guys. And if you ever do want to do an ocean swim, do one where they have officials, where they have the judge boats, where they have everything. And always swim. Never swim alone. Always swim near a lifeguard.
Yes.
2 main rules.
And there you can see. And, of course, like we had said, they're battling waves, they're battling wind and current.
Right. Now, you saw he stopped there for a second. He said the name of his city.
Yes.
So these guys actually, they might have an officials list out there to check off. Okay, so-and-so turned.
Crash. Yeah, and that's another thing you have to be aware. Swimming, now that Zach's heading back in, he doesn't want to collide with anybody else. And there we see a bit of a pack. Looks like a green cap, maybe a yellow cap, a couple white caps, a black cap, and another pink cap. So.
And we're good, but we're not that good.
Yeah.
To tell you.
I've already forgotten it was very wet. But yeah, so definitely might be Dylan DeWitt was wearing a pink cap. He is typically a contender. A couple of the darker caps. So looking at last week, Alex Zoladan from Avalon was a strong contender. He's in a navy blue. Andrew Taylor from Sea Isle City could have been one of those green caps. And Brendan Lewis from Wildwood was another in a gold cap. So any of those boys could be up in that pack as well. You can see them spacing out a little bit. So, again, as we said, you also have to factor in the currents and the waves and really kind of having a little bit of that ocean knowledge. So, a lot of these guys, they may have grown up on the beach.
Right.
I mean, us growing up, we knew the ins and outs of the ocean like the back of our hand because we were in it a lot.
And if you end up working for the beach patrol of the beach where you were when you were a kid, you know the landmarks. You're looking for certain things now. When you come to a race in Margate, you are looking at some pretty big buildings. You're looking, again, possibly for Lucy the Elephant. We're not too far from Lucy. So that would be your landmark as these guys move back
absolutely.
through the swim flags.
Yeah, and it's a great point because there's some places where there's not great landmarks and there's some that are really good ones because you really only have about half a second to kind of put your head up, find where you're going, make sure you're going straight back to shore.
You're going up, you're opening your mouth to take a breath, making sure you're not getting any of the ocean in your mouth to impede your breathing, and you're trying, okay, I guess I'm straight.
Yeah, and that is a good thing that comes into play as a lifeguard. So typically when we train as lifeguards, if we're going on a rescue, I'm not putting my face in the water, I'm taking breaths, and I'm not grabbing goggles and a cap. So the typical way that a lifeguard swims is with his or her head out of the water, which is a good skill to have, obviously, in a rescue. You want to keep your eye on the victim, but it's also nice in a swim race that you can kind of take a couple strokes like that with your head up, find your point, and then get right back into your stroke and your rhythm.
And there's a nice shot of our leader right there.
Yeah, and you can see them coming up on that, getting past that, the single flag line. It does look like a little bit of a green cap, which could be, it could be Avalon.
Or Sea Isle.
Or Sea Isle. Yeah, probably sea aisle. So yeah. And you can see again the current and the waves have kind of played a role. Everybody's a little bit more spread out. You can see those white splashes. Not quite white caps anymore. It's swimmers kicking as hard as they can to get back to shore.
And after this event, the third event of the night will be the singles row. So you see the singles flags right there, and it always comes down to the singles. Very few events do you attend where the team title is clinched after the second event.
Yes,
it could
absolutely.
be, but rarely do you see that.
Absolutely. And it's nice to see. Actually, one of our sponsors tonight is Swift Law Firm, and some of our best swimmers have been the Swift boys.
Yes.
Tom Swift was a solid swimmer for a long time. A lot of Swift lifeguards were on Margate Beach Patrol as well. I think I saw a few of them were judges down there tonight.
Okay. Always great seeing those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, there's a nice shot. See if I can. See, it might be. Looks like that's Sea Isle. Looks like Andrew Taylor from Sea Isle, who was third place last week at the Hoffmans. That's a nice angle.
Yes, it was. Again, kudos to our drone operators
Yes.
tonight, doing a great job.
Absolutely. Giving us all a bird's eye view into something that you normally do not get to see at all, especially in the swim. And then it looks like there's two swimmers. That could be Brian Falk right there in the red and I think that is. It looks like the Ventnor cap right there. Following right behind what could be Dylan DeWitt in that pink cap. Yeah, I think that's definitely Brian.
Okay, yeah, in the white and red cap.
And then the pink one could be Dylan DeWitt from Ocean City. And it is interesting because you'll see while in the doubles and the singles, you get a lot of repeats. You get a lot of the guys that row doubles also come back and do the singles. But the swim could be a completely different group of competitors getting in the top 5 spots.
And another difference with the swimmers is a lot of them train at the same pool during the summers.
Yes.
Because most of these guys and the girls from the ladies races, they swim competitively in high school or college.
Mm-hmm. And like you said, swimming is a sport. I can say from experience that takes a very long time to get into shape and a very quick time to fall out of it. It looks like there's Zach again.
It's a nice shot.
Yeah, and you can see one of the biggest things, and I even tell a lot of our rookies, is that kick. A good swimmer needs to have a strong kick behind them because it keeps you afloat and it keeps you propelling forward. So you can see that little bit of a wake following behind him as he's starting to get to the point where he's also going to try and hop on any little swell, get any little help that he can. And it is nice moving in because every time you rise up on that swell, you get a little bit of a better vantage point of what your point is back on land, as well as a little bit of a push forward. And yeah, that's definitely Brian right there. And it looks like coming up, the green cap, I'm going to guess is Sea Isle, Andrew Taylor. And it looks like a navy blue cap's in that mix as well. And this is a little bit of a, Zach has it out and about in the front, but the next couple ones will be a little bit closer together.
He actually has a wave breaking right behind him. He's going to try to get on this.
Yeah.
There he goes. And he'll pop up. A lot of times, like you said last week, they will swim until their hand touches sand.
Yes. And this is a different finish than the rowing races. This finish is on land. There's a rope between two stands typically where they will have to go and grab that rope and they'll receive a popsicle stick. So that, yep, you can see right there, that's the finish line for the swim.
All right, congratulations, Zach Vassar from Margate, unofficially the swim winner.
And he's had a nice summer
Yes.
so far.
Just completed his freshman year of college, correct?
Yes. Yeah, I believe so. And then we can see what we can figure out. So this looks like a little bit of a tighter one. I think that is Andrew Taylor from Sea Isle.
Let's look and see if we could.
Looks like an S.
The SI for Sea Isle.
And then we'll see the... Oh, it looks like there's Brian from Ventnor running in with... Here we go. Nice. And again, it does running in. It's a bit of a sprint. So it looks like that was a tight finish there between Ventnor and what could be Dylan DeWitt. And then I think I saw a Navy cap go in 5th. Looks like there's a yellow or gold cap. So again, strong finish. See the last few coming in. Again, hopping on a little bit of a wave, riding the wave. Little wave riding always helps towards the end. And like we said, this is a nice setup to South Jersey's, which is next week, which is definitely the winner take all. There's a good little finish as well. Nice job. Oh, there's a Flyers cap. I was talking to him beforehand. He was going to change his cap. I said, Flyers is awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a nice cap. Again, always not easily identifiable with the swimmers.
Definitely not. Well, as we're watching those last few swimmers come in, again, just a shout out to our sponsors tonight. The Viking Rowing Club Foundation, which is near and dear to my heart. It's a wonderful program that allows everybody of all ages and experience levels to come and row out in Ventnor Heights by us. The Oar House and Van Dyne Boats, an LLC that has been one-of-a-kind company that has been providing all of us with the oars and the boats that you see tonight, as well as Stampone, O'Brien, Dilsheimer, Holloway, and Law, and of course our United States Air Force Special Warfare, who was here tonight.
Yes.
I saw them come over with their truck, so stop by and say hi to them as well. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we will be back with our final event of the night.
The difference between a lawyer in Philly and a true Philly lawyer is that a lawyer makes you a pitch, but a Philly lawyer makes you a promise. A lawyer gives you their office hours, but a Philly lawyer gives you their cell number. A lawyer knows construction site negligence from a textbook, but a Philly lawyer knows from experience. A lawyer will accept payment in cash or credit, but a Philly lawyer won't accept a dime unless you win. You can find lawyers anywhere. Just Google them. But true Philly lawyers, the kind who fight for you like family, who know how to stand toe-to-toe with the big corporations, well, you only find them at Stampone, O'Brien, Dilsheimer Law.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others. Join the fight.
We are back for our final race of the night. We're going to be coming up on the singles row. Again, great job to Zach Vassar from Margate, their hometown race right here, for that solid victory. We have unofficially, if I can pull it up.
And thank you to our spotters in the field.
Thank you.
For the
Yes,
intel.
Lynn, you're the best. So unofficially, we have Margate, followed by Sea Isle, Ventnor, Ocean City, Avalon, Atlantic City as the top 6 in that. And again, top 5 will score. And as we said, every point
counts.
I'm trying to do a little bit of math on our commercial break, which was very quick. But hopefully we will have some numbers for you. So like we said, the singles row really is almost always what it comes down to. There could be 4, 5, 6 patrols in the running, and that singles race really can be the make it or break it and deciding factor in the overall championship of this. Last year's championship was Atlantic City. and 22 was Margate, 21 was Longport. So, and all of those teams could be in that hunt tonight as well. So we're just waiting to see. You'll see the singles rowers will be starting to get set up soon, as they're trying to. Most of the guys were warming up during the swim. You'll see in the singles row that there will be the one rower will be at the stern of the boat or the back of the boat closest to the land. They will typically have someone holding their bow to keep their boat straight, especially in this wind. Can always be a factor when you're a singles rower. You want to give that a good push out into the surf, but you also, once you jump in the boat, it's no one's really in control of it anymore.
Right.
So you want to. I would just have a little bit of a plan in my head. If the wind was blowing one way, I'm gonna get ready. Think I'm gonna pull with my left arm first or right oar first, and just to have that little bit of a plan, especially when it's windy and a little bit of a swell.
You want to keep that momentum going. You start,
Absolutely.
like Megan said, you start off pushing, and then the worst thing that can happen is that when you get in the boat, if the boat's dead in the water, you want the boat to keep moving forward, and it's a skill. It really is.
Yes.
A lot of technique going into this.
Absolutely. And you also don't want to be caught sideways in the surf.
Right, exactly.
Because that's when boats can flip. We don't want anyone to get hurt. So really making sure that you're being safe as well as being efficient and getting through that surf as quick as possible.
And we have a number of guys who are rowing in the singles who already rowed the doubles.
Yes.
For Atlantic City, we have Vince Grenice. For Avalon, we have Ryan Finnegan, who won the singles last week at the Dutch Hoffens. Brigantine, Jack Savell. Cape May, Mike Fitzpatrick. Cape May Point, Ben Swan. Longport, Mike McGrath. Margate, Chris Spires. Mark Strange from North Wildwood. Ocean City, Taylor Smith. Sea Isle City, Danny Rogers. Dennis Bakey from Stone Harbor. Upper Township, Will Shetler. Ventnor, Matt Spires. Connor Gallagher from Wildwood. And James Klecko from Wildwood Crest. And again, that was alphabetical. It is not the lanes.
Yes. And unofficially, if I've done my math correctly, it looks like Margate's winning right now. They did win the swim, and they were fourth in the row, so they have 7 points right now. Brigantine has 5, of course, for winning the doubles. And then I have Atlantic City with 4 and Sea Isle, I believe, with 4. Both getting second place in their respective events. So can be a
Right.
factor.
And so much goes into a singles race. It does a doubles race also and the swim also. But with the singles, a lot can happen in such a short amount of time, because sometimes before you know it, you're at that turn flag. Although last week we had a 9-minute singles race. So it depends where the flags are set. You don't know it. There really isn't a hometown advantage, but the only thing that you could determine is the length of the race. But it's right in the rules pretty much. They want a certain length.
Yes.
Which it normally is.
Yeah. Margate does a nice job. Wildwood was long.
Wildwood was long.
That was a long singles row.
And we were just watching. We were. I mean, imagine how the rowers felt.
I know. I know. I thought that during the doubles. I'm like, oh my goodness, the doubles hit the singles flag. It's been almost 5 minutes.
I was in the singles heat in Brigantine years ago, and I remember we had a novice row, which we still do, and it was a doubles row, but the flags were shorter than a traditional row because these were rookie 2- and 3-year guards. And the next morning we had the singles, and we were like, we might as well just use those.
Yeah.
Which seemed like a good idea at the time, and I just remember turning around looking for that flag.
Yeah. So it looks like we do have some, again, unofficial standings right now. So Margate with 7, Brigantine and Sea Isle tied with 5. So Sea Isle did get that
Yes.
5th spot in the doubles row. Atlantic City with 4, Ventnor and Longport with 3, and Ocean City with 2. So yes, like we said, it could be a lot can come down because, like we said, the scoring is the same in all of these events. So first place will get 5 points, second place 4, third place 3, fourth place 2, and fifth place, that always important 1 point.
Right,
That
and there
can
goes
make or break.
put you over the top. There goes the warning sound. So we're about 2 minutes away from the start of the singles.
Yes.
Again, on what turned out to be a beautiful night. Cool breeze. I know a lot of people who might be watching at home
Yes. And you can see again that this start will be very similar to the doubles. So you'll see the younger guards, usually the rookies, are out into the water holding those poles just to make that unofficial starting line. And then when you hear that warning sound, warning horn again, the patrols will start to move their boats out into the water. It is again roughly about a knee-deep start, and the single start is always a little sketchier than the double start because there's only one person in control of the boat, whereas with the doubles you have two.
Right, and the bow man starts rowing before the stern man is in the boat.
Yes.
So there goes your momentum and your control.
Yeah, it is. It's always, you always want to be in control of the boat, and in the doubles race, the bowman is in control very quickly, and can get the boat going before the stern man even gets back to the stern.
Right.
But here in the singles race, you're a little bit on an island, and you just want to get there in as quick as you can, start rowing, and just get straight and make it through these waves that we saw were a little bit of a factor on the doubles.
Yeah, it looks like the waves have stuck around, definitely.
Yes.
And every Beach Patrol wants to win this race.
Absolutely.
This is, I mean, to some Beach Patrols, this is bigger than the South Jerseys.
Yes. And we just looking at last week, we had Ryan Finnegan from Avalon won the Dutch Hoffmans, followed by Jack Savell with Brig, Mike McGrath from Longport, Chris Byers from Margate, and Danny Rogers from Sea Isle.
And if I'm not mistaken, we have a start in the singles. There they go.
So you can see them pushing out, and they're going to get in quick, make their way back. It's like Crest lost an oar.
Spires from Margate had a nice start.
Yeah.
There he is right there. And now as he hits a couple waves, there goes Vincent Grenice from Atlantic City.
Yes. And this is one that, yeah, you really need to keep that momentum going. The quicker you can get those quick strokes out is what's going to get you through those waves. And it looks like Ocean City, Atlantic City are out down at the bottom of the screen. There's Cape May Point and which Savell? Jack?
It's Jack Savell.
Making their way out, as well as
Mike
Cape May
McGrath right
Point.
there.
Yep, Mike McGrath
From
from
Longport.
Longport, and Ben Swan from Cape May Point.
Now, last week at the Dutch Hoppins, the ones who finished, Ryan Finnegan and Jack Savell, actually from the same area, Haddon Township, New Jersey, and they were close. It came down to a wave, just like it might tonight.
Yes, absolutely. And Mike McGrath is a two-time defending champion of this race from the last 2 years. But like we said, it's anybody's race. So you can
Ocean City looks like they're doing well.
Ocean City is doing well. I can see Ventnor, Matt. There's Vince Grenice, no stranger to this race, as well as Mike McGrath.
He's won this race numerous times.
Yes. Yes, and Ocean City's Taylor Smith right there.
There's a nice shot.
Yeah.
You see a lot of the people who are in contention.
Yes. So, and like we said, this is a quicker race. This is only to that first row of flags, and I say only very lightly because it is still a long race when you are rowing by yourself. And this is one of those races that you can't quite win it on a start or a turn or a finish, but you could lose it on one. So
Right.
making everything as perfect as possible is key in a very quick race.
Looks like Mike McGrath might have a lead up there. Or they have him in
Yeah.
second, with Ocean City leading right now. Atlantic City third, fourth place Brigantine, and in fifth place Sea Isle City.
Yes. And this is an important turn because, again, like in the doubles, the bow man is checking, but the stern man is always still going. Whereas in the singles, you're doing it all on your own. So you really want to hit that flag dead on and make a quick turn. As you'll see, they'll be turning upward on the screen from the angle we're at right now. Looks like there's Taylor Smith from Ocean City. And again, the waves and the swell are still a factor. So your course is certainly going to be important on this one. You can see him looking for his flag already. The worst thing to do on one of these races is to miss your flag and have to spend time.
And they're turning.
Yep. Looks like
That's Mike
there's
McGrath from Longport.
See Vince making a quick turn. Ocean City turning. Looks like Briggs turned.
And
Looks
it's
like
going to come down to this, guys. Who can manufacture as much distance in between from those waves? Who can ride those waves, hump those swells?
Absolutely. And like these waves out here, they want to ride on these swells, hold on to them as long as they can, keep the boat straight. These swells out here, you won't see anybody hopping back on unless some monster tsunami comes out of the woodwork. But you do want to, you'll see that they're going to try and swing back into the bow and throw as much weight into the bow as they can. It's a nice angle of Mike coming in. And you'll see again, the swells are breaking on an angle. So you want to use them to your advantage, but also not let them take completely over your boat.
Ocean City has a wave just passing them by. And there's Vince Grenese at the bottom of our screen.
Well,
Longport, Mike McGrath.
Yeah, a lot of these, as you can see, Mike's going to use the rowing. He'll pull some rights to keep himself straight. Because it is tough. You want to go with the swell, but you don't want to go with it so much that you're rowing a couple extra 100 yards in the wrong direction. But these guys are doing a very nice job of navigating this.
We might have had a lead change with Atlantic City. Vince Grenese in first place right now.
Yeah. And this also is the ocean. You know, the waves don't break evenly, and they don't break the same in every spot. So waves could appear on the north end of the course that aren't there on the south, and then vice versa.
And that's a heartbreaker when that happens. And it happens.
All the time. Yeah.
Vince looks like he has a nice wave coming up behind him.
Yep.
There goes Mike McGrath
yeah.
at the lane 14.
Ooh. And these guys are tired. You know, they're doing their best to stay on these waves.
There goes Vince.
And it's a little bit of a back and forth.
He's on that wave. Going to try to steer it straight.
That's a smart move, though. I think, you know, keeping your oars with you. Doing a little bit of bow steering.
And it looks like Mike McGrath's over the line. Now we're talking about team title, guys, when every point counts.
Yes, absolutely. Yep, so it looks like Mike McGrath unofficially in first. And then we'll see, it looks like Vince.
Looks like Atlantic City in second.
Yep. And it looks like that could be Brigantine or, whoops, someone just caught a wave.
Third place, that might be Ocean. No, that's not Ocean City.
I don't know who that in the middle. But a solid finish, absolutely. And there's Vince Grenese unofficially in second. And then you see Margate with 1 point. That 1 point, we said, can always make a difference. There's CI. Looks like he's lost some oars. And in that case, you just try and make it over the line as best you can. You'll see almost always, I should say always, these boats will go out with a spare, an extra oar, just in case.
Or two.
Yes, especially depending on the surf. And that's something that we practice with the Lifeguard, our day-to-day work as well. We always have a spare out on our boats. So we'll see what it will come back as. But there's Vince. Great performance by him tonight in both the doubles and the singles.
And unofficially, we have Longport winning the singles. That's Mike McGrath, Vince Grenese in second place again, unofficially.
Was Atlantic City. So, and yeah, it looks like it will come down to this race. There's North Wildwood finishing up, Mark Strange, and another nice colored boat.
Oh, yeah. Yes, it is. Easily discernible, and we definitely thank you guys for that. And the Van Dyne boat, the boat builders.
Absolutely, yes. A lot of love to our Van Dynes, who were a lot of good lifeguards there too, and the Oar House company, who the Garbett boys were.
Yes.
They handled that for a long time.
Now people are trying to figure out what are the team points, who finished where, what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so we'll have to wait for official results for that. But it was, again, a strong performance. Great night of racing tonight.
Great night of racing.
Definitely makes us excited for next week in your town.
In Brigantine, right?
Can't
Next Friday night. And Wednesday night we have the women's Bill Howarth South Jersey Championships.
Yes. Which should be always a lot of fun.
So I guess I will not see you on Wednesday.
I know. I'll be sad not to be up here, but not quite sure that race would happen if I'm not running around.
Well,
25
everyone
towels.
Appreciates the job you do.
Yeah, and I work with great guys. Our Chief Bergman, our captains, Funk and Howarth, are wonderful. So right now we're going to take you back down on the beach to Christian with some of our winners.
Hey there, Fran and Meg. I'm here right now with Zach Vassar of Margate Beach Patrol. Zach, taking the back-to-back wins here on home turf at the Margate Memorials. How do you feel out there today?
I mean, felt great out there. Can't complain with the win. Current was a little bit not favorable, I'll say, but a little choppy. But it was a fun one, nice long one. Glad to come home with the win. Yeah, fun one at home.
That's one thing I took notice of coming into today is seeing some of the rough conditions out near the water, and then with the wind, strong headwind this way. So how were you able to navigate through that current and end up pulling out the win here today?
I mean, a lot of it, it's corny to say, but a lot of it is just in your head. You know that the current and the waves are going to hit you, and you just got to know how to deal with it, how to pick up the stroke count when you're coming down a wave, when to go under, when to go above one. A lot of it just up head, and you can't let it get to you. That's all it is.
Well, Zach, thanks for joining us. Enjoy the win here today, and best of luck next week at South Jerseys.
All right, thank you very much.
Back to you, Fran and Meg.
Thank you, Christian. And we, again, are waiting for results.
Yeah.
Unofficially, it looks like it's going to be close for the team title.
Absolutely.
A matter of a point. Could be a tiebreaker, but we really don't know right now.
Yeah.
But great job to all the rowers, swimmers tonight, navigating an ocean that was what we prefer.
It's true.
As viewers.
Yes, it's true. And I do. I would always pick a rougher ocean over a flat one, but I do know how difficult it can be. I have won and lost many a race on a wave.
Especially
the ocean is unforgiving.
Especially years ago, we used to have bay races. Well, they still have the Upper Township bay race, and nothing's helping you home.
No. I will take waves all day. If I can make out through them, I'll take all their help on the way in. But yeah, so we're going to go to a commercial break. So thanks again from our sponsors, and we will be right back with hopefully some results.
What is a lawyer? Is a lawyer a protector? Is a lawyer a teacher? Is a lawyer a caregiver? Is a lawyer a mentor? Is a lawyer a fighter? We see the good in lawyers. Our lawyers see the good in you.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others. Join the fight.
Okay, and we are back.
There goes one of our judge personal watercrafts out there in the ocean, making sure the swimmers were safe and making sure, keeping motorboats, power boats off of the course. That happens sometimes. You're rowing in a race and you'll see.
It does. It happened at our women's
you.
races last year. So, avoid the races if you see lots of boats or swimmers out there and you're in a boat, please.
Yes. There's plenty of ocean beyond those flags.
Yeah. So we are having an unofficial
it looks
result,
like.
And it might be a 4-way tie, unofficially, between Brigantine, Atlantic City, Longport, and Margate. If that is the case, then it would look like
I'm getting divorced. I'm just joking. That's a joke. That's a joke.
He loves
I'm going right home tonight.
So if that's the case, then Brigantine would win on the tiebreaker.
Yes.
I'm not sure what
I know Brigantine did win the doubles. Now it's close because that's singles, and it depends because a lot of times things go into the judges, into headquarters. All the judges go, listen, I definitely had this guy at this position, and
Yes. So it's tough because, as you could see, our vantage point isn't the best, but there are typically judges on either end of the course, and what one judge sees, the other one may not. So there are usually typically several people watching to really make a good call, and Margate typically does a nice job of making it as fair as possible.
I love you, honey.
So we will be waiting to hear what that final is. But again, tremendous job tonight, and this sets us up well for next week.
And it's been a great summer so far.
Couple of days in a very unusual impromptu summer quick trip, and the water there was 92.
92.
I couldn't believe it.
That might be a little too much.
It was a little too much, but I can't complain. We did a lot of good fishing, so
Good. You look like
it was fun.
Your Instagram looked like you were having a great time.
Yes, yeah.
You and Lynn.
Yeah.
And congratulations, Megan, by the way.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Everyone's very, very happy for you guys.
Thank you very much. So we are waiting for. You can see some of the people are coming over behind us.
You'll hear our names. You'll hear people screaming.
Yeah.
Franny Lane and Megan. You'll hear.
Yeah,
You'll hear that.
We're local in the 609 area code. A couple people know who we are.
That's right. And listen, guys. We know a lot of guys from especially Atlantic County. We're getting to know a lot of the participants from Cape May County. If you have something that you want to mention, like I did a little research, and I see we do have some guys who are first responders, like year round. They're firefighters, and let us know so we can give you the props that you guys deserve.
Absolutely, yes, yeah, and it's been fun. I mean, we enjoy.
To be there 45 years later, or
right?
For instance, our assistant chief Mike Morrell, it's his 58th year on the beach patrol.
Wow.
And he's not the senior guy in South Jersey.
No, that I think Stan Bergman,
Yeah, Chief Bergman,
best chief in the world, holds that record still. And he's still, I'll tell you what, he still gets out in the boat. He is, still working out and lifting. He is
such a nice guy, so respected.
Best.
Yes,
he's the best. So we're very, very lucky in Ventnor to have the chief at our helm.
I got back in the 90s, row pickup. I swim pickup actually. Myself, Tom Rehill, and Kip Emming. I stole my mug.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, it's great. So as we're waiting for those results, again, we just want to say thank you to all of our sponsors, and I think we're going to go down to Christian with Mike McGrath, the singles champ.
All right, Mike.
We'll be back.
Hey, Fran and Meg, here with Mike McGrath of Longport Beach Patrol, taking the win here at Margate Memorials. And Mike, this must be a race that you feel right at home in, because this is now the third year in a row you've taken the win in the singles row here at Margate Memorials. How does it feel to get a three-peat?
I actually didn't know that. It's right next door to Longport, so I mean we're comfortable here. We can row down any day, so. Yeah, I mean we're very comfortable rowing here, and singles I just try to row as hard as I can for as long as I can.
You also took the win earlier this year. I know we talked 2 weeks ago at the Atlantic City Classics. Now 1 week out from the South Jersey Championships, what's the biggest thing you're looking to work on and make sure to help you get that win?
Good start, good turn, good finish. There was some swell here today, so I was just trying to jump on everything I could. And I got a few, but I mean that's it. Just getting out through the surf, getting a good turn, and finishing strong.
Mike, thanks for joining us here. Enjoy the win here today, and best of luck to you next week at South Jersey's. Back to you, Fran and Meg.
Okay. Thanks so much. So, great job to Mike McGrath. Again, he has won this race quite a few times.
Yes.
Thank you, Christian, for the fabulous interviews tonight. So we are going to wrap things up here tonight. We are still not positive which of those ties the victory is going to go to. But we would like to take a minute and thank our wonderful sponsors, Stampone, O'Brien, Dilsheimer, Holloway Law, the fabulous United States Air Force Special Warfare. Check them out. They're down here tonight as well. The Viking Rowing Club Foundation, Orhouse and Van Dyne, and of course the Swift Law Firm. So we will be back. Well, Fran will be back with you next Wednesday.
I'll see you on Wednesday.
In Ventnor. I will see you next Friday at the South Jerseys. Get to trade off towns
That's
the next
right.
couple weeks. But we have a lot of great action coming up the next couple weeks. Thanks again to everybody who's watching, all of our sponsors, and of course, fabulous job to all of the competitors tonight in that tough ocean. And best of luck to everybody next week.
We'll see you next week. Swim there or
I
lifeguard.
was just going to say that. Yes, so in front of a lifeguard, please. Have a great rest of your summer, and we will see you next week.